What's up everyone? Today I got a good one for you. Today I'm going to talk about what Ben Affleck ate to become Batman for Justice League. If you've been watching this channel, you know that I always talk about training and nutrition as two separate things when building a superhero and the importance of both. The thing is, if you don't get on top of the nutrition, if you don't nail the nutrition, there's no way you're gonna look like a superhero. Normally, when working on a movie, you go through 3 different training and nutrition cycles. You have the build up or the bulk up cycle. When you lift heavy, you eat a lot of calories, a ton of protein. Then you have the cutting cycle when you eat a little less food. You want to make sure that you're in calorie deficit, that you're spending more energy in a day than what you're eating, and you're also training a little lighter or lighter weights with more reps usually. The hardest training cycle actually starts once you start filming. That means you achieved your goal, you have all that muscle mass, low body fat, and then you want to maintain that throughout 6 months of filming. And that's really hard. It's really hard to know exactly how much to eat every single day that will keep those gains but keep the body fat low. If you want to know more about the programs that I'm using for my superheroes and the diet that I put them on, check this out. If you want to train like Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 84, Alicia Vikander in Tomb Raider, Alexander Skarsgård in Tarzan, Ben Affleck in Justice League, James McAvoy in Glass, I share all those exact programs on my app. I also have body weight programs, nutrition guides. You can also message me in the app. Working with Ben on this movie was an absolute pleasure. Not only is Ben a great actor, he's a great person as well and a lot of fun to be around. So had a great time. So we had 3-4 months here in LA where we were lifting heavy, and we hired a chef to take care of the nutrition. We had the brilliant chef Paola Petrella, which I worked with many times. With me and Paola co-labbing, we made sure that he got enough protein every day. He was north of 200 grams of protein, enough carbs and fat to be in a calorie surplus. Here's a few examples of what Ben had. It's extremely important to eat enough food if you want to build the maximum amount of muscle mass. I had Ben on 5 meals a day, sometimes 6. He would eat a solid breakfast, protein-based, with eggs, maybe some oatmeal. A normal lunch would consist of steak, chicken, fish, which is protein. And with that, we would make sure that he had a lot of slow carbs, some good fats, and a ton of vegetables. 3 hours later, he would have another snack, which consists of a tuna salad or beef skewers, or sometimes another protein shake. Dinner would be similar to lunch, would be beef, chicken, or fish, with normally slow carb, good fats, and a lot of vegetables. And if my memory is correct, I think he ate around 3,500 calories per day during the build-up cycle. About 6 weeks before filming, we started Ben's cutting cycle, which meant lower weights, a little more reps to get the same training volume in, a little more cardio, of course, and we obviously had to change the diet as well. So we went from being in a calorie surplus to calorie deficit in a heartbeat. During the diet, I also made sure that Ben was in a calorie deficit, and I can't stress this enough. If you're gonna lose weight or fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. There's no other way. Another thing that I like to do when trying to keep as much muscle mass as possible, and I did this with Ben as well, and that was to keep the protein just as high as in the build-up cycle. So we stayed north of 200 grams of protein every single day. And a little side note, for all of you that wants to track your protein or are already trying to, when I say 200 grams of protein, I don't mean actual 200 grams of steak. I mean 200 grams of protein. So 100 grams of steak or fish contains about 25 grams of protein, so just a quarter. So make sure if you want to track your protein that you actually look on the label how much protein that particular protein source contains. So it's not the actual weight of the protein source, it's grams of protein. What we really adjusted was the fat and carbs. We were eating much less of that. We made a couple of small adjustments to the menu during the cutting cycle. The beef was a little bit leaner, and we made sure that the protein shakes only had protein in them and not so much of carbs and fat. When it was time to start filming, we had hit the mark. If you've seen the movie, you can see that Ben has packed a ton of muscle on. He's looking great, his body fat was low, and he really looked the part. While filming, the objective was to keep all that muscle mass, but maintain the same body fat for the whole duration, which was 6 months. And I have to say, I'm really proud of this one. And by now, everyone's seen the movie, so you know that he looked the part and he pulled it off. So he did great. So what is the slow carb? Well, the slow carb is a carb source that affects the blood sugar and the insulin as little as possible. A couple of my favorite slow carb sources would be quinoa, barley, farro, brown rice, Vasa crisp bread, and thin crisp. Now you know what Ben ate to prepare for the role as Batman in Justice League. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.